In the grainy glow of 1950s television screens, families gathered around their living room sets, while advertisements promised a futuristic miracle, the TV dinner. Swanson's foil trays gleamed under studio lights, showing off perfectly partitioned sections of turkey, mashed potatoes, peas, and even dessert. "Just heat and serve," the announcer boomed, turning the ritual of dinner into something you could buy, unwrap, and slide into the oven in minutes. These commercials weren't just selling food, they were selling convenience, modernity, and the dream of a simpler domestic life. Back then, TV dinners weren't merely frozen meals. They were symbols of progress. Today, though, they feel more like relics of a past era, now shrunk in size, inflated in price, and stripped of the cultural magic they once carried. The rise of the TV dinner in the 1950s was as much about culture as it was about food. Post-war America was shifting. Families were moving into suburbs, televisions were becoming the centerpiece of the home, and women long tasked with cooking were entering the workforce in greater numbers. Swanson's frozen trays arrived at the perfect moment. They offered liberation from hours in the kitchen, letting families eat together in front of the TV while watching shows like I Love Lucy or The Honeymooners. The meals were marketed as balanced, wholesome, and patriotic, turkey dinners that evoked Thanksgiving comfort, but available on any weeknight. Convenience was the real hook. Housewives could serve dinner without dirtying a pan, and kids could marvel at the novelty of eating straight from the aluminum tray. By the 1960s and 70s, TV dinners weren't just convenient. They were mainstream American culture. Brands expanded beyond turkey and chicken to offer Salisbury steak, fried fish, spaghetti, and even international options like Mexican dinners with enchiladas. The packaging itself carried an air of excitement. Those divided foil trays with their perfect compartments mirrored the promise of order and modernity. Each bite-sized portion was laid out neatly, giving the eater a sense of control. Even the act of peeling back the foil felt futuristic, like unwrapping a space-age gadget. For kids, it was a small adventure. No guessing what was for dinner, no sharing with siblings, and no waiting for mom to finish cooking. It was all right there, pre-packaged, uniform, and oddly comforting. But if the TV dinner of the past was about abundance and optimism, the modern frozen meal feels more like compromise. Today's versions are often smaller, more expensive, and less satisfying. A box that used to feed a hungry teenager now barely counts as a snack. Portions have shrunk steadily over the decades, a combination of rising production costs and an industry chasing healthier images. What used to be hearty servings of meat and potatoes are now lean slices, tiny vegetables, and sometimes just 300 calories per tray. And while that might appeal to calorie counters, the price tag tells a different story. A modern frozen dinner can cost as much as a fast food combo meal, but delivers less flavor, less fullness, and almost none of the nostalgia. The shift also reflects broader changes in how food is made and marketed. The golden age of TV dinners relied on a domestic food system where meat, potatoes, and vegetables were cheap and plentiful. Today, supply chains are stretched thin, packaging costs are higher, and processed ingredients are often cheaper than fresh ones. Instead of thick turkey slices, many modern meals rely on reconstituted meat patties or sauces that mask the lack of substance. Microwaves, too, changed the experience. The original Swanson dinners were designed for the oven, where heat crisped the potatoes and browned the meat. Microwaves, while faster, left food soggy and unevenly heated. The tray evolved from sturdy foil to flimsy plastic, and the ritual of pulling a golden, bubbling meal from the oven gave way to punching numbers into a keypad and waiting for a beep. The magic faded. Nutrition also plays into the story. Those early dinners weren't exactly healthy, but they carried the illusion of a complete meal. Modern frozen meals often highlight buzzwords: low-fat, gluten-free, lean, or high protein, but they're still loaded with sodium, preservatives, and artificial flavors. What's missing is the sense of fullness that the old trays promised. A single frozen dinner today rarely leaves someone satisfied. Many people find themselves needing two just to replace a regular meal, which defeats the point of portion control. What's left is an awkward balance between dieting and convenience, with the consumer paying more for less. And yet, for many people, the TV dinner remains wrapped in nostalgia. Ask someone about their first TV dinner experience, and they'll often smile. They might remember eating fried chicken and mashed potatoes while watching Saturday night cartoons, or feeling grown up because they didn't need mom to cook. Some remember the novelty of dessert in the same tray, apple cobbler tucked neatly beside green beans. For kids in the 70s or 80s, it wasn't just food, it was a treat, a little slice of American culture that made dinner feel special. Parents sometimes use them as rewards. Tonight, you can pick your own TV dinner. That sense of choice, even if limited to Salisbury steak or meatloaf, gave kids agency. For others, TV dinners meant family togetherness, ironically while sitting in front of the television. Before smartphones fractured attention spans, families watched the same show at the same time, and dinner became part of the ritual. The TV dinner made it easier to synchronize that experience. Everyone had their tray, everyone faced the screen, and everyone shared the same laugh track. It might not have been a Norman Rockwell meal around a table, but it was distinctly American. Today, frozen dinners don't carry that cultural weight. They're more about necessity than novelty. A rushed worker might microwave one at the office, or a college student might grab one for a late-night snack. But no one gathers the family to eat frozen pasta while streaming Netflix. The ritual aspect is gone. They've become survival food, filler in the freezer, or diet tools, never the centerpiece of an evening. Even advertising has shifted. Instead of glossy commercials showing happy families in front of a glowing television, modern ads emphasize fitness, weight control, or quick convenience. The sense of wonder has been replaced by marketing buzzwords. The decline of TV dinners as a cultural icon speaks to something larger. The way convenience reshaped American eating habits. What began as a revolutionary idea, skip cooking, enjoy more free time, has become a baseline expectation. Convenience food is everywhere now. From fast food drive-thrus to food delivery apps, we live in a world where getting dinner without cooking is no longer special, but normal. The TV dinner's unique charm faded because its promise became redundant. Why reheat a plastic tray when you can order fresh takeout to your door in 20 minutes? And yet, there's still something oddly comforting about them. For many, seeing a foil tray of mashed potatoes and turkey recalls a simpler time when television was communal, advertising was earnest, and convenience felt like luxury. Even if the portions have shrunk and the price has ballooned, the memory of those early dinners lingers. They remind us of a cultural moment when America believed in progress, when modern living meant more free time and less drudgery. TV dinners today may no longer deliver on that promise, but their history tells us something about how food shapes culture. They weren't just about eating, they were about identity, family, and the future. Now, in an age of endless food options, they feel like a lost ritual, a nostalgic artifact from when the flicker of a TV screen and a warm foil tray were enough to make dinner feel exciting. They may sit quietly in the frozen aisle today, overshadowed by global cuisines and organic options, but their story remains a reminder. Convenience once felt like magic, and sometimes the simplest meals leave the deepest cultural imprint.